Welcome, Sachin. Welcome, students. In today's section, we see about the hydraulic power transmission. We are just waiting for some more students to join the section. We are just waiting for 2 more minutes. Then I will start the section. Is this audible? Please reply in chat. Is this audible to you? Please reply in chat. Thanks, Rishikesh. We are just waiting for 2 more minutes. Then we will start the section. Today's section is very interesting one. It is related to the power transmission using hydraulic system, and power transmission we are taking example of automobile sector. We are just waiting for 2 more minutes. Then I will start the section. Good morning, Aves. Very good morning to you all. Just 2 more minutes, then I will start the section. Just for 2 more minutes, then we will start the today's section. Okay, so here I am sharing the screen related to the PPT of our chapter number 2. Okay, so here you can see on your screen that hydraulic transmission, and this is the diagram for the hydraulic transmission in the automobile sector. So what is the need of transmission of power from one place to another? You know, in IC engine or in automobile what happens? In automobiles, the power is created at IC engine, means internal combustion engine, and this engine is connected with the wheels by using the gearbox, and so we transmit the power from engine to the wheels by using the power transmission system. But in case of mechanical, we are using the components such as engine shaft, then gearbox, and from this gearbox we are connecting this power from engine to the wheels. But here in hydraulic transmission, we can also transfer the power from engine to the wheels by using the hydraulic components. So which are the hydraulic components and how we are going to transfer the power from engine to wheels using the hydraulic system is we are going to study today. And which are the components is all these things we are going to study in today's section. Okay, so just listen what I am saying here. In case of normal vehicles, rotary motion produced by the engine is transmitted to the wheels through mechanical power transmission system. And what are the components for mechanical power transmission system? They are belts, clutches, gearbox, axle and shaft. Okay. And the power transmission system also perform the task of modifying the speed of the vehicle by engaging and disengaging the gears. If you want to change the speed of your vehicle, then you have to convert the gear. And according to the gear, the torque and speed of the vehicle is obtained. But in case of but there is a problem in mechanical power transmission that every time you need to change the gear and adjust the gear by pressing the clutch, which is time consuming one. So to eliminate this disadvantage of mechanical power transmission system, we can use hydraulic power transmission. So what is the disadvantage of mechanical power system, mechanical power transmission system? The disadvantage of mechanical power transmission system is that you need to press clutch every time and to change the gear. While driving the vehicle which uses mechanical power transmission system, during initial slow speed of vehicle, you need to keep the vehicle in first gear. And when the vehicle attains maximum speed, at this time you need to keep the vehicle in fourth or fifth gear. So you have to changing the gears continuously throughout the movement of your vehicle. To eliminate this, we can use the hydraulic power transmission system. So this problem is solved by using the continuous variable transmission or gearless transmission, which is achieved by using hydraulic transmission system. Okay. Hydraulic transmission system is as shown in figure. It has a hydraulic variable displacement pump and variable speed motors. Roughly, I am explaining here. In hydraulic power system, what we do, we connect the IC engine to the pump, which drives the uh, hydraulic oil, and using this hydraulic oil we moves the motor, and this motor is connected to the wheels. And yeah, by use as in this way we are going to use the transfer the power from engine to the wheels by means of the hydraulic oil. Just see on your next screen, you will get the idea. Okay, so here we are, you can see on your screen, this is the two types of motor here. One which is connected to the wheels and one is connected to the IC engine. And these two are connected by the pipeline, and through between these pipelines the oil can be flowed. You can see here one place pump, it is the driver, and another one it is the driven one. We can say that one is the one pump is driven by the IC engine here, and this pump pressurize the hydraulic oil and send this oil to the another one another motor here, and this motor is coupled with the wheels. So the power is transmitted from the IC engine to the wheels by means of the hydraulic transmission. You can see here, you can see here you are transmitting the power from this pump to this another motor by using the hydraulic oils, high pressure hydraulic oils, and nothing other than. So what is this? This is the power transmission using hydraulic system. Okay, so this is some In this video, they are showing us engagement and disengagement. So this is not the our part. We will see it in next section. Okay, yes. Again, I am going to explain this system. You just read. A hydraulic transmission system is as shown in figure. It has a hydraulic variable displacement pump and variable speed motor. They are typically connected by the swash plate axial piston pump pipe. The pump shaft is connected to the engine shaft. Thus, the engine drives the pump. The pump pumps the hydraulic oil under pressure to the motor through pipes. The motor are coupled to the wheel shaft and hence the wheels rotated. What is happening here? The engine is connected to the pump. This pump drives the motor by using the hydraulic oil, and this motor is coupled with the wheels. So we are transmits power from the engine to the wheels by using this hydraulic transmission system. What is the advantage of using this hydraulic transmission system? We eliminate the efforts of changing the gears by using hydraulic system. So when the hand lever means gear here, when the hand lever is in neutral position, the swash plate is at right angle to the cylinder axis. No fluid is pumped to the motor. So here swash plate is used to run the motor or to direct the motor, and the wheel does not. So when the slash plate is at right angle, the no fluid is pumped to the motor, so the motor remains stopped. So normal position of swash plate is at right angle to the motor. When the hand lever is moved forward, means when you start put the gear, when the hand lever is moved forward, the swash plate is tilted in forward direction and pumps the oil toward the direction, and the wheel rotates in forward direction. This is symmetrical to the forward and backward gear. When you put gears in forward direction, at this time the swash plate gets tilted in the forward direction, causes to flow the oil towards the motor, and motor start rotating in the forward direction, and the wheel also start rotates in the forward direction. And what will happen in the back when you want to take the vehicle in backward direction? At this time, the lever or gear is moves backward from its neutral position, so that the swash plate tilt in backward direction. This causes the pump to deliver oil in reverse direction, and hence the motor and will rotate in reverse direction. So here you can do the both forward gear and backward gear, and no need to change the gear continuously, which we do in the mechanical system, the first gear, second gear, third gear. Here only two gears are present. First one is the forward and other one is the backward. You can see this is in the automated vehicles. Okay, so we are going to see this next slide here. So next slide, you can see the advantages of hydraulic transmission system. You can read on your screen. So what are the advantages here? No need of clutch and gear. We are eliminating clutch here. Then control speed is possible in both direction. This speed can be set at any value. You can the speed of vehicle can be controlled, and you can set it at any value. Then single lever is used to control the speed and direction. What is here meaning single lever means a single gear is used to control the speed and direction, but in mechanical system we need to use various gears for various speed. So You all are familiar with the two-wheelers, and two-wheelers is provided with the gear transmission system, which is mechanical transmission. And in pure two-wheeler also, when the speed is very low, you are using the first gear. When increases slightly, we are using the second gear. When the vehicle is on full speed, we are using the fourth or fifth gear. But in case of hydraulic transmission, no such gear shifting is required. Then it is having low maintenance, and low pressure oil can be used for power steering. High pressure oil. What is the concept of power steering? Power steering, those who drives the four-wheeler knows the concept of this power steering. If your steering is not power, it is simple one, then you require much more effort to rotate the steering. But if it is power steering, then efforts are reduced as we are using this uh, hydraulic power, as we are using the hydraulic power to rotate or to anti-rotate the steering. Okay, so what is power steering? Power steering, it is just a steering to which low efforts are required to turn the vehicle. This is the simple concept. Then less response time compared to the gear transmission. Then power loss due to friction is minimized here in case of hydraulic power transmission. Then here are some disadvantages of this hydraulic transmission. First disadvantage is it is more expensive. Then lower efficiency compared to the mechanical transmission, and it can be towed or may damage the pump. Its efficiency is less, and meaning of it cannot be towed. Cannot be towed means it is not portable one. You cannot be deassemble and assemble it easily. Cannot be towed. Once it's installed, then it remains there. And if you remove it and again apply it, then it may damage the pump. So what meaning of word towed can be taken at, it is not a flexible one, it is no, or it is not a portable one. You can see in our mechanical power transmission system, you can easily dismount and mount the gears without much affecting the vehicle. But in case of hydraulic power transmission, if you dismount this, so Swapnil, please mute your mic. But in case of this hydraulic transmission, it is not portable one. Or if you disassemble it, then it may damages the pump. So here is another concept, which is power unit. The power unit, it is the set of components which produces high pressure oil and are assembled together, known as power unit or hydraulic power. Just listen to me what I am saying. Hydraulic system is basically made up of two sets. A set of components which produces motion and a set of components which produces high pressure oil. The components which produces motion are cylinders and motors, and they are integrated part of the machine. But the component which produces high pressure oil are universal, hence they are assembled together in a single unit. The components which produces high pressure oil are combinedly termed as power unit. Okay. So hydraulic power unit or hydraulic power pack basically consists of oil reservoir with hydraulic pump with electric motor, then pressure relief valve, then delivery pressure gauge, and manifolds with pipe connectors. What is manifolds? Manifolds, it is the multiple pipe connection is provided on this particular device. So a combined set of all this means pump, electric motor, pressure relief valve, delivery gauge is termed as a power unit. What are the function of these components? We will explain in the next slide. So just read on your screen what is said here. The power unit, it is the set of component which produces high pressure oil. They are assembled together, known as power unit or hydraulic power pack. It is directly available in the market. You doesn't need to buy each and every component. The all complete mountings are available in the market. They provide pressure energy for the operation of the hydraulic system. Moves fluid through the system. They also provides a safe maximum system operating pressure. It also assisting in maintenance and correct system operating temperature and fluid cleanliness. Then how they are going to achieve this, we will see during its function in the next slide. So here is some more example of some more details of power unit. A basic power unit consists of a prime motor to give input to the power system, to pump to pressurize by oil. It having reservoir to store the oil, pressure relief valve to contain maximum to control maximum pressure. What is pressure relief valve? Pressure relief means when the system undergoes a heavy pressure at this time, the pressure relief valve releases the pressure from the system and save it from damage. Then filter to clean the hydraulic oil, then plumbing to transport oil through system suction and return line. So this is the typical diagram for the power unit. In practical, you can see the diagram like this. Then what are the components here? You can see this prime mover, it is motor, prime mover, then pump, then filters and heat exchanger on the top. What is the function of heat exchanger? The function of heat exchanger is to dissipate heat from the system and keep the system cool. Normally what happens when the pump pressurize the oil, this oil get heated due to the pressure, and when this heated oil is returned to the uh, return through the return line in the system, then if it doesn't cool it and this high temperature oil is again sent to the pump, then its temperature again increases and system becomes hot. And if the system becomes hot, then its performance decreases or reduces. That's why to cool that oil which is returning back after its function, we are using the heat exchanger here. Why we are going to use the heat exchanger? We are using the heat exchanger to keep the system cool, because the return oil having some high temperature because we pressurize it, and you know pressure is directly proportional to temperature. So to cool that oil, we are using the heat exchanger in power unit. Then again, types of this. So there are the three types of this power unit. First one is vertical power unit. Second one is the horizontal, and third one is the portable power unit. Then what is reservoir? Reservoir, it is a component which stores the oil of hydraulic system. So there are, it again performs some functions really, other than the storing of the oil. So the functions are listed on your screen. You can read it here. So first function is to provide a chamber to store sufficient amount of hydraulic oil, then to cool oil coming from return line, to allow contaminants to settle down and remove them, then to accomplish the dissipation of heat by its proper design, and to provide a radiating and convecting surface to allow the fluid to cool. Next one is to allow air bubbles to come up and vent them out, to give support for mounting of pump and valve motors. All these are the function of reservoir. The construction detail of reservoir is you can see on your screen. Each component of reservoir having its separate function. We will see the separate function on next slide. In this present slide, you can see the components of reservoir. So what are the components? It is the pump outlet, then return line, then inlet line or suction line, then manhole, then drain wall. What are the function of these various component? We will see on the next screen. Same components can be shown by this manner also. The hydraulic features and hydraulic features of hydraulic reservoir are listed here. First one is tank. Tank contains a sufficient quantity of oil. Then filter. Filter is used. Filler is used to fill new hydraulic oil into the reservoir. Then breather. It is a vent that filter air to entering and leaving the reservoir. Breather, it is a normally a hole which is kept on top of this reservoir so that no vacuum is produced inside the reservoir, because if the vacuum is created there, then it will defunctioning the pump. That's why normally a vent which is called as breather is kept on this tank to allow the entry of air and to remove the air which comes along with the oil. Then sight glass is used to check the oil in the lever tank. Then intake filter. It is usually a coarse filter that attached to the suction pipe. To the suction pipe, we connect a filter which is named as intake filter here. Then this is the baffle plate. As I already told you, that the return oil coming through the return line is having high temperature. This, if this high temperature oil is directly went to the pump, then it will causes to heat the pump. To eliminate this, we are using the baffle plate. What is the baffle plate? Baffle plates are used to increase the travel time or used to increase the travel distance of this return oil inside the reservoir. You can read on your screen. The purpose of baffle plate is to separate the pump inlet line from the return line to prevent the same fluid from recirculating continuously within the tank. If baffle plate is not present there, then liquid from return line comes here and this directly moves to the suction line, and the same fluid with high temperature is continuously start moving through the system. To eliminate this, we are using this baffle plate here, so that this high temperature oil coming through the return line does not goes directly to the suction line, uh, and we keep the system cool. We are using this baffle plate here. Again, there are some another function of baffle plates. First one is to permit the foreign substance to settle down to the bottom, then to allow the entrant air to escape the oil. Third one is to prevent the localized turbulence in the reservoir. Fourth one is to promote the heat dissipation to the reservoir wall. We already discussed that heat dissipation. Then again, some components are suction and return line. They are designed to enter the reservoir at the point where the air turbulence is least. Why we require the turbulence here? Because turbulence flow causes more heat dissipation. That's why we are using turbulence here. They can enter from top or side, but their end should be always be at bottom. If return line is above the oil, then oil can foam and draw in some air. You can see here both the suction and return line. It is the suction line and you can say this is the return line. Both are well inserted inside the fluid level. You can see here also both are inserted inside the fluid level, because if return line remains well above the oil level, then it will causes creation of foam, and this foam causes entry of air in the pump. Okay, then again strainer and filters here. If the meeting gets stopped at any time, then don't be panic. I will share the attendance link on your WhatsApp group. Just fill it and lecture will be end, because time is very less time is remain here. Okay, so we are seeing here We are seeing here another components which are strainers and filters. So strainers and filter are just designed to eliminate the foreign particles which are coming along with the oil. The next component is drain plug. It allows oil to drain from the reservoir. Some drain plugs are magnetic to help removal of metal chip from the oil. Then there are types of reservoir. First one is the non-pressurized. This reservoir operates at atmospheric pressure. They are vented to atmosphere using an air filter or separating diaphragm. Since they are open to atmosphere, as such they are prone to atmosphere, hence they are not commonly used. This is the type of reservoir which does not contains any pressure, so we name it as non-pressurized reservoir. And again, this is second type which is pressurized reservoir. These reservoirs are pressurized inside between 0.35 to 1.4 bar and has to provide with some methods of pressure control. There may be a small air compressor to maintain set of charge pressure, or pressurizing improves suction characteristics of pump by providing additional suction head. It also helps in preventing contaminants from entering into the reservoir. So it avoids a boost pressure to main pump and prevents the ingress of dirt. Then here is some, we are discussing about the sizing of reservoir. Just read on your screen. Read what is shown on your screen. This is a simple concept. This is the sizing of reservoir. What is the criteria for this reservoir? First one, the reservoir capacity should be 3 or 4 times the pump delivery per minute. The reservoir should be large enough in terms of 3 to 4 times the pump delivery per minute. It must make allowance for dirt and chip to settle at bottom. It must be able to hold the oil. It must maintain the oil level high enough to prevent the whirlpool effect. It should have large surface area to dissipate heat generated in the system. We already discussed this concept of heat generation and dissipation of heat in hydraulic system. It should have an adequate air space to allow for the thermal expansion of oil. It should be large enough because as the temperature of oil increases, its volume also increases. Then this is another concept of accumulator. Accumulator is similar to the flywheel in case of mechanical transmission. It is a power storing device. So in case of mechanical transmission, flywheel stores the energy in the form using the spring or some another way. But here in hydraulic system, accumulator stores the pressurized oil or pressurized liquid, which can be used in case of emergency or when the pump required to produce peak power or peak pressurized oil. So we see accumulator in the next section. We are stopping here. The accumulator, then function, then its types, classification, all this concept related to the accumulator we will see in the next section. So today's section is stop here. I will share the link on your WhatsApp group, fill it, and if anybody having some doubt, then you can directly call me or you can text me on my WhatsApp number. We are stopping here. Thank you. If anybody having some doubt, then you can directly call me or you can chat me on my WhatsApp number. I'm ending the meeting here. Thanks for today's presence.